Hello today. I just wanted to share kind of a cool discussion that I had with one of my performance coaching clients. This is a pretty high level guy, owns multiple seven-figure businesses and has a number of kids. And so this is a battle tested individual that has a very good mindset, a strong will, has his habits together. When he was describing how one of his younger kids was putting him through the grinder in a way. Difficult to manage, some of his sleep was thrown off, sicknesses kind of happening, and at the same time he still has his work schedule. And so he was talking about how within his mindset he feels suffering, he feels challenges that normally he wouldn't experience. Normally entrepreneurs, we go through a whole gauntlet of challenges, and so we end up getting used to it. We know how to navigate those types of things, and for whatever reasons, this round for my friend here was worse than normal. You know, he felt like his emotions were really sticky. He felt like he couldn't get out of the suffering, the negative mindset, the anxiety, the guilt, like all negative emotions. And as I'm hearing him talk about all of these things, he was burdened a little bit with guilt, saying, I woke up this morning going through my habits and I didn't have a good workout, and I just felt like I chose suffering. I chose and made the decision to exist and live in the realm of suffering. And I'm listening intently, and he clearly doesn't enjoy being there. It's a tough place to be. And so one of the things that I notice, especially in high-level individuals that kind of have the mindset down for the most part, this is a guy that accepts responsibility for his own actions and outcomes. He has great results, and so he's just trying to hold it in and say, what could I have done better? It's always my fault. Like, let's get through this. But one thing that I notice, especially with people that are pretty self-aware, pretty in tune with themselves, but they have sticky emotions, is that they're solving for the wrong thing. They assume it's a mindset problem or mindset puzzle to solve when it's something a little bit more objective. Luckily, in my own experiences, and for those of you that know, my wife is a functional medicine doctor, I kind of have some of the answers to some of the tests by being able to measure the amount of neurotransmitter precursors that you have in your body. And so what I notice in individuals that have the mindset thing down is that the stickiness of emotions, of like living in suffering or existing in negative space, sometimes it's a biochemical problem. That's it. You could have all the sleep in the world, but you just feel kind of, down, And so my friend asked me what kind of protocol he should consider to try to get out of this. And the protocol that I've used that has served me and served my clients is it starts the day before. You can consider, if we assume that you're in that mode of negative energy, sticky emotions, can't get out of it, it's possible that you have low serotonin. Maybe you were drinking, maybe you had a good time with recreational substances, maybe you spent a lot of time with people, went out, you basically used up a lot of your neurotransmitters. The night before, one of my suggestions is 5-HTP. It's a supplement that is the precursor building block of serotonin. So if you don't have enough serotonin in your body, then it's hard to connect with fulfillment and happiness and joy. And so you want to take the 5-HTP that has the other ingredients in it. I think it's B6, for example. So I recommended that for him. The other thing I recommended was I found out that he drinks coffee in the morning. And so typically, I forget the name of this substance, but there's something that your body clears in order to allow your emotions to be less sticky, allow your circadian rhythms to kind of function. And so the general recommendation, and this was by Dr. Huberman, was to wait an hour before you do any substance, supplements, coffee, things of that nature, to allow yourself to clear this thing. I think it's a Dinh or something, I can't remember. So I told him to wake up, do something cold, like cold therapy. So for instance, right now it's still kind of wintertime. I suggested to go outside and go for a jog for like 30 minutes and wear less clothing than you would normally so that you can experience a higher degree of cold. Either do that, or if you don't have time, then cold showers work really well. What the cold does first thing in the morning is that it stimulates the production of dopamine and serotonin. And if you're feeling down and feeling like your emotions are sticky, it's a good hard reset, good hard biochemical reset for yourself. Because caution, cold showers during the wintertime is pretty brutal. You feel like your life kind of sucks and your attention and presence is 100% in that realm. So maybe running outside or doing something outside is a little bit easier if you're just starting out with these cold therapy. The other thing I recommended was you don't necessarily need to have like a heavy workout. You just need something to move the blood around. Okay. This individual, he originally had habits of like wake up, lifting weights, journaling, meditation, and coffee, and that was his schedule. And so in this example, I asked him to drop his journaling exercise just for a day or so, because the habits that we do, you really want to have a prescription, a diagnosis and prescription. So what are you solving for? Each habit solves for a specific thing. If you can think about each habit in that way as a tool, then you'll be able to be like a sniper and solve your problems a lot easier, right? Because you're targeting the root cause of the experience that you're going through. And so I recommended to do that. So he suggested to put on a heavy backpack and do some sprints, I think, outside. Meditation is also a good thing too. So I recommended meditation after he woke up. And the purpose of this meditation, there's many different meditation practices. This meditation that I prescribed for him was to do a breathing exercise where you're breathing slowly, you're closing your eyes. And as you're breathing in and out, the intention for this meditation exercise is to try to connect with a good feeling. So a lot of times when we take a deep breath in, when we breathe out, there's a somatic, a physical sense that you can feel around in the core area that feels good. You feel relieved, you feel like you're in touch with joy or fulfillment, something positive, right? And so the exercise with this meditation is to do the breathing, right? But you're trying to connect with that good feeling. You're trying to bask yourself in a specific emotion. You're trying to go deep with it. You're trying to go deeper in that emotion. So the meditation practice is breathing in and out. Your intention and focus, your object of focus, if you want to get technical in the meditation realm, is in the core area, and you're trying to connect with something that feels good. The visualization portion of meditation, in this example that I prescribed to him, was to think of memories that are a good feeling. Okay? If you can't focus on the breath, think about the good memories, right? And live in that space. But you don't want to pick a memory that arouses a strong emotional reaction, because strong emotional reactions can, use up your neurotransmitters in a sense. Think about if you play a song that really gets you going and you're really motivated, it's kind of like super motivated and then it crashes, right? You want to pick something that is a little bit of a slower burn. So something pleasant, something that is kind of connected to serenity, like a nice memory of your children playing together, something like that, versus you going on a roller coaster with your kids in this example, right? So the last part of the prescription, or two parts, was I recommended a L-Dopa supplement. So there's something called the velvet bean, red bean is a nickname for it, and basically it's a bean that has a high concentration of L-Dopa. L-Dopa is the precursor to make dopamine, and so it helps push the reaction through. So if you're low dopamine, if you have low willpower, don't feel like doing a lot of things and things of that nature, that supplement can be helpful for you. Of course, make sure you ask your doctor for any advice on supplements that you take, but this is what we recommended for him. The last piece was Tim Ferriss's cocktail. He has a cocktail, like a nighttime cocktail, that basically nurtures and helps your gut bacteria. And we know that something like 70% of some of your neurotransmitters are produced in the gut. And so if you optimize for the gut, then you can connect to feeling better. And so the cocktail goes, I want to say 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 1 teaspoon, and you can play with this a little bit, teaspoon of honey mixed with hot water, and you drink it 30 minutes before you sleep. Okay. I've found that it's been very helpful for me, for my mood, for example. Of course, if I do it every single day, the effects start to go down over time. But if I mix it in like once a week, I feel like there's pretty profound benefits for me, especially if I feel like the puzzle that I'm solving is not a mindset issue, but a biochemical, neurotransmitter, nutritional puzzle to solve. So that's my protocol for sticky emotions. For if you can't get out of the funk, you need a hard reset, you need to change your biochemistry, and those suggestions can help. Oh, lastly, last quick tip, smoothie is very helpful. You want to level up your nutrients, for the day. So smoothie is very helpful for providing you with the energy to help process a lot of these biochemical reactions. So, other than that, hopefully you have a nice day. I hope this was helpful for you, and take care. Bye-bye.